and throw you on the scales.
Canada, with its spectacular beauty and breathtaking landscapes, its majestic mountains, its cascading waterfalls and rivers, recently garnered another impressive accolade, the United Nations honor as being the best nation on the globe in which to live and bring up a family. Yet with all its incredible resources and acknowledged beauty, our richly endowed nation faces a disturbing aberration within its borders. The people of First Nations, especially its children, descendants of tribes that centuries ago originally occupied this land, are faced with a bleak and foreboding future. The current situation among Aboriginal youth is a sad and desperate one. Drug and alcohol use is at an all-time high, and incidents of violence and abuse, like the recent Davis Inlet outbreak, are becoming more and more common. This total disrespect for people and property reflects a generation that has given up hope. Youth suicide has reached epidemic proportions, and Aboriginal leaders have called for new initiatives to address this problem that is increasingly prevalent in the remote reserves of the Canadian North. A tragic example is Cat Lake Reserve, located north of Sioux Lookout. In a one-year period, with gas sniffing the drug of choice, 23 young people, depressed and despondent, took their own lives. Others eventually arrive in urban settings, unprepared and vulnerable, to die another kind of death. The recent Royal Commission report on Aboriginal peoples zeroed in on the crisis that exists on the reserves. We can talk about new structures, new strategies, new social programs, but at heart there must be something more radical. It is to bring about change in human lives. It is to ensure Aboriginal children grow up knowing that they matter, that they are precious human beings deserving love and respect, and they hold the keys to a future bright with possibilities in a society of equals. In other words, we must get to these children before they hit the streets, before they become entrenched in a destructive lifestyle.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed.
Base Camp was a very special time for the children of Walpole Island, Saugeen, Curve Lake, Manitoulin, Cat Lake, London's Chippewa Oneida Reserve, wherever the Care Force team went last summer. However, so much more needs to be done. The children of First Nations, beautiful, vulnerable, and full of incredible potential. Unfortunately, unless something is done and more efforts, such as Camp on the Res, are initiated, these children face a grim future. Out of every 5 First Nations children, 2 will end up on the streets of our Canadian cities. 1 will spend years in prison. 1 will die of suicide or an alcohol-related death. Only 1 will survive to live a constructive, fulfilling life. The statement, oft quoted by the late John F. Kennedy, applies here. All that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. Base Camp on the Res is an effort to do something. A successful first-year experiment that will be significantly expanded in the coming year to impact hundreds more First Nation children.
In the spring becomes the rose.